Hi everyone, I'm your ShameleSis. Shameless today, I'm gonna share a story with you guys about how I came out from the closet. I think when I was younger, I sucked a lot of bamboos. Okay, whatever old you are young, it's not a big deal. Okay. Basically, I have sucked more than 1,000 bamboos. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the story. I will tell you guys every bamboo in the future one by one, okay? But today I'm gonna talk about how my mother found out that I'm a bamboo sucker. Okay, the thing is that I like manga, I like drawing. So when I was young, I had a fantasy towards man. So that's why I started to draw the man's figure. I will sketch it, I will just draw it. And there was a period of time, my father brought me to the public bath, and in there I was, I felt like I was like a spy or a stalker or some stuff. I would just, quietly submerge myself, with the water into the public bathtub, and the water will come into this level. I would just look around, check out the guys, and I would especially will check different guys, like the big bamboo, eggplant, papaya, and lipstick. Okay, so there was a guy. So I think that guy that time was only 20 years old, but that time I was only 6 or 5, I forgot. But that period of time, I was very, interested in drawing pictures. And then, whenever I was using my brain to picture, like a photo capturing, that image. When I went back to my room, I would try to draw it. I got a candy box. I think that time, my mother, I think she somehow deliberately prepared that for me because it looked very secret. I start to draw, and whenever I finish drawing, I will hide all those pictures into that box. And then I will use candy to cover it, and also I have some, beautiful envelopes to hide. I think somehow my mother checked it periodically to find what was wrong. And so there was one day when I came back home, there were a bunch of like naked guys pictures, with their big bamboo, with their big eggplant, with their small, lipstick or whatever, it was pictures all over the ground. And my mother was like, my mother was like this. I was petrified. I was also thinking, you bitch, how filthy you are. You were just trying to dig the privacy of me. But anyway, I felt fucking embarrassed when the catastrophe comes and you have nowhere to hide. So basically you just accept that. I'm trying to wait what my mother would say. I think because my mother was pretending, to be like a tiger mom or whatever, but somehow she was also speechless. It was like, because being gay is kind of like a taboo in China. To be honest, I met a lot of people, whatever they're foreigners, they're from US, from, Italy, or, even Afghanistan, or Pakistan, or India, or Japan. I can tell you, homosexuality is a taboo everywhere. It doesn't matter it's in China or all of China, it doesn't matter it's a communist country or it's a democratic country. It's a taboo for every family. If that family has a gay child, you can say that that family has won the lottery. Because normally when you have kids, the kid's gonna be very playful, very out of control, right? It's dramatic. But when you have a gay kid, I think the dramatic level just would be doubled or tripled or even quadrupled. I think that time when my mother found out that I was a gay, and she was not she was completely not prepared for that. And she was speechless. She was petrified. I think she was more petrified than me, because she was an adult, I was an innocent, naive, bitch. I didn't give a much fuck. I just felt embarrassed, but it would still be fine for me. I think there was a lot of chemical reaction, like bombs, thrown in her mind. It was like boom, 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 like what was going on? Fuck, with a lot of bamboos all over the ground. I was hoping she would give a speech, but she somehow just said, oh, you don't draw it in the future. I was like, uh-huh, okay. And then she left the room, speechless, and she was cooking, something like that. And when she was cooking, I could hear she was cursing. She said, fuck, bitch, fuck? What the fuck? That time, those naked guys' pictures or drawings were acting like a vaccine for my mother about one day I will came out of the closet. So I think my mother was always prepared. I officially told my mother I was gay. It was during the time of my 18 years old. It was 2005 because I studied my senior middle school in Shanghai. Because that time I was in Shanghai, it was a boarding school. So around 11 p.m., it required you to turn off all the lights. So because that was the last year before the university time, so my mother agreed that I could move out from the boarding school and find my own apartment to live there alone. And then I could have more time to study. But unfortunately, it was like, when I got the time, I think, yeah, I studied more longer time than before, but I think I spent more time like dating, have bamboo practice. I found a boyfriend from internet, so I call him like my cyber lover. And then we were texting each other every day, we call each other every day. And also, I was dating a policeman. So it's like a police officer. Because that police officer was so higher rank, so he got a lot of power. You don't have privacy in front of a policeman, because they have access of your phone records. If they know your user ID, they even have your internet records. So there was a big drama between my cyber lover and the police officer. Okay, I will tell the story later. Then back to my mom, because there was a period of time, there was my mother's friend. He came to Shanghai to have a visit. My mother promised him that he could live in my apartment for a short period of time. I thought my mother's friend would just live there for 3 or 4 days. Actually, he stayed there like 15 days. And so during the 15 days, because my police officer boyfriend, he visited me very often. So it was weird, for my mother friend to realize that there must be something wrong with the relation between me and the police officer. Because, I once told him that, we were just friends. It was like a friend's father, and he came here to look after me or something stuff like bullshit. But as time went by, my mother friend could easily tell that guy somehow spent more time with me than his own child. Then it didn't make sense. And and he even found out there was a condom, under the bed. I somehow lied that it was a condom, like maybe left there like a long time ago. My mother's friend was just being polite, didn't ask more, but something like that. I could remember that time my mother's friend booked a train ticket and he was ready to go back to my hometown. I thought, that fucking bitch would definitely tell this to my mother. I think that time I would be very passive. I wouldn't have any cards to play. Somehow my intuition told me that I should tell my mother, before him, in order to make my mother less embarrassed or less traumatized. Because also back then the timing was also very ironic, because that was only 7 days before the exam of the entrance of Cott University. So I picked up my Nokia phone and dialed, and I called my mom. So basically I forgot. I didn't remember what we said, but actually that time my mind was in the numbing, state. Because all I was thinking is that how would I prepare to tell my mom that I was gay? I just remember my mother said something, and it was my turn to say something. I said, "Mother, I think I want to tell you something." My mother said, "What?" I said, "I think I'm gay." And she said, "Oh, okay, whatever. I think it's going to be the exam. And let's talk about this after the examination." Then I hung up the phone, and I was feeling weird, It was very silent in the room, and I just didn't know what was going on. Then after the examination, one day me and my mother were in the shopping mall. We were having our afternoon tea time. She was sipping the coffee, and I said, "Mother, what do you want to say about my homosexuality?" And she was and she was trying to stay calm. She was holding a coffee cup, and she said, "Actually, I've known you're gay long time ago." I said, "What? Are you joking? How come you know that? Is that because of my drawings of the naked guys?" And she said, "That time when I divorced with your father, and I was dating with another guy that was my boyfriend, and I felt you were weird, because sometimes, the kid should be depressed or feeling sad that their parents got divorced. I didn't know like why you were excited. You were excited whenever you saw that guy. And that time I thought probably you liked him. But that time I thought like you liked him as a new father. And I think later I realized that after I saw the drawings, I think probably you like that guy because you were imagining he could be your husband, right? I was laughing out loud in my mind, but I was trying so hard to hold it because it was true, because that time I was fighting with my mother for her boyfriend. Okay, that's another story I will share with you guys in the future. So after that afternoon tea time, the conversation between my mother and me went so smooth. It was like we talked everything. We talked about different guys. We talked about what type of this man is, and we judge different guys. We gossip things like that. We even talk about different size of the different men's bamboo, and is it eggplant is better or lipstick is better or bamboo is better, things like that. And I even recorded my porno, okay, with different guys, okay. And I even shared this porno to my mother. She said, don't send me anymore. But I think somehow she was excited to watch it. So this is the end of my sharing. Meow, meow. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. I know ShameleSis is a weirdo. But I know you're going to like me because I'm a different color for your life.